morning.
Pleasure today to be in the presence of so many young entrepreneurs. Today is part of the giving back from the jungle people. Let's see whether we have something to offer you in terms of advice or because of our experiences in the past 20 over years as an entrepreneur. We also have with us today John, the CEO of People, to maybe share some of his experiences. It's a different generation altogether, different challenges maybe back then, but perhaps John can tell us some of the challenges that he's faced that we can relate to, and maybe you can share with us your challenges that you face in building your businesses. We have Alfred, who's the boss of Howdah and Xtraordinary.
I import products from all over the world and bring it to Malaysia to sell it online to Malaysia. And at the same time, I created a platform to allow people like all of us to earn a profit from there, to earn a margin from whatever that I'm selling.
We have Elias and Sarah, whose business is called
Abe & Co.
Abe & Co.
Abe & Co. or Abeng & Co. What was that?
Abe.
We bake, we make cakes and sweets.
We have Irwan as well.
Hello.
Irwan is our resident chef, right?
My company is called Craft. We do handcrafted pastas and sauces and food delivery as well.
How was your entrepreneurial journey? Tell me how you started and what are the challenges that you faced.
In terms of how we started, honestly, we were just kind of sitting because we were hanging out every day, and then one day we just kind of decided that we should start something because we were spending a lot of time together, but not like actually doing anything really. So we decided to monetize that, and then then we just kind of started baking to kind of fill time, and then orders started coming in. I think we had a pretty good, we grew pretty quick in the first month, first and up till the middle of the second month, but then we started slowing down a lot more now, of course. Orders are regular, but I think we're still gaining a bit of traction for now.
We faced problems when we first started because we did not have a big capital to start our business, so we didn't have the proper funds to actually market the product and also a proper setup. So we just had to make do with a lot of things and also be very resourceful with whatever we had. A lot of our sales and a lot of our marketing is done online because it's free.
So I actually came up with the idea of Howdah since last year, August. But because there's actually some hiccups throughout the way, and then there's a lot of restructuring of the whole infrastructure. So there's also some capital issues. So from 15K website became a 30K within just 3 months. Even before I actually have Howdah, the platform, Xtraordinary is already actually on Lazada and Shopee. I asked a lot of questions from my more experienced entrepreneurs. They were like, always focus on what you know. Alcohol is my first product. I have about 2,000 kind of alcohol, red wine, beer, all from imported from UK, US, Belgium, Germany. So they say, you just need a website, just sell alcohol. That's enough, Don't go and steal people's fun wood. So but then halfway through, I was like, why should I actually control myself to just selling alcohol? So I actually started selling way more than that. So actually try and then just do it, from sales of 1 or 2 orders a day since the beginning. Right now, there's about 200 orders average per day.
John started his entrepreneurial journey at a very young age as well, right, John?
For those of you who don't know, we are professional facilitators. That's how we describe ourselves these days, right? We're professional facilitators, mindset and behaviors. We help organizations become more effective through leadership development, through facilitating culture development, strategy and things like that. So that's what we do these days. But it was very different when we first started off. Part of the reason why we're called the Jungle People is when we first started off was we did programs in the jungle. My first session that was paid was when I was in the second year of uni. I was in my degree at that time, so that would be what, 2021, I guess.
Was there any limitation because of your age? So you started in university.
So I think entrepreneurs in those days, or the business world, was not as accepting of young entrepreneurs like yourselves. These days, everybody looks at young people, and you know what, even investors look at young people above a certain age, 40, 50 years old. They're like, you're too old to be invested in, right? They go for the young ones, 20, 30s, and those are the very investable entrepreneurs these days. 20 years ago, entrepreneurs were a different breed, I suppose. They were seen as a different breed, and when you come in young, you always get remarks like, "You're so young, what do you know about business?" And then don't forget, we were in the business of people development, and so you've got senior managers and CEOs and GMs who are, you know, it was difficult to convince them to take us seriously simply because of our age.
Yeah, it's actually a challenge for me. So, like, I've actually told a lot of people. So I actually talk to a lot of these 40s, 50 years old CEOs and stuff. So they will always say, you know, I don't look like the guy that will actually put effort into a business. It's actually quite depressing, you know. They do not believe in what you're doing, but they will just always have their own mindset, you know. You will only you have to prove them wrong, you know. So that's my motivation, is to always prove them wrong.
Most of our competitors and most of our clientele are around our age or maybe slightly older, so it never really was a problem when it came to age.
New age of entrepreneurism going on Instagram, and where people expect you to be young and baking and selling on Instagram.
Yeah, at the end of the day, you'd be more surprised to find someone that's, you know, not our generation, as in older, much older, selling cakes on Instagram than for us to be selling cakes on Instagram. Yeah,
we do get clients who are like those upper class aunties. So like yeah, they tend to tell us a lot about their life stories, and yeah, it doesn't really factor in much.
I don't know, based on your story, there's still a connection for relationship, right? Because if I ask John, the business grows a lot based on networking and relationship. Definitely, yeah?
Yeah, definitely.
Alfred, I think yours is the most disconnected from the consumer, isn't it?
Actually, I do face B2B to C. To actually get the deals off, I'm actually in charge of getting more great deals from all the suppliers. So there's actually sole distributor in Malaysia. How do you actually become a sole distributor when you are in Malaysia and then the brand is actually in UK? So everything is cash buy. Money is the king. So if you were to buy in bulk, then they'll give you be the sole distributor, but you have to pay upfront. From my view is I have to build a relationship to get them to agree to what I'm doing. That is the first thing. To tell them that I can actually commit this number, but don't be crazy lah. I can't compare to Jaya Grocer, Village Grocer. I have to convince them that, you know, I'm a young entrepreneur, I'm doing this for what purpose. Yeah, so that's actually how building the relationship works for my side of business.
Right now, even among the four young guys over here, there are also different stages of the business that they're in, right? So Ilias is going into the business, is Instagram, haven't really faced a lot of age challenges yet, or like Alfred, and that's partly because of the nature of the business, but it's also partly because of the stage of the business. So Alfred's business is in a more advanced stage. Alfred's trying to grow it bigger, not just in terms of enough income for yourself, but also you've got staff, you've got employees, you've got a larger team, you want to grow the business. And that's when I think you really start running into cynicism. So I would suggest that Ilias and Irwan and Sarah listen really well to the stories that Alfred is sharing now and start thinking, if you do intend to grow and scale your business, how are you going to build these relationships? What lessons can you take from Alfred in facing? Because I think you will at some stage face a bit of resistance because of your age. The other thing is your network, whatever network that you've got, building that network is really, really important. So if you have a good network, it's always easier to go in warm rather than to go in cold. But more seasoned entrepreneurs, I would look for your thinking process more than your evidence of your success. Is your thinking process in the right place? And like Alfred says, are you serious? Because there are also a ton of young entrepreneurs who go into the entrepreneurial journey and then discover after 6 months, 1 year that, wow, very susah way, I don't want to do. If I've committed to you or you've committed to me and we are in a relationship, our business relationship together, and then you suddenly pull out after 6 months, 3 months because you played enough already, that's going to be nasty. And I think that's why we're probably a little bit more cautious when it comes to dealing with a young, entrepreneur. So you've also got to be very clear about the kind of network that you want to build. Not every network is great for your business. So be clear about the kind of network that you want to build, and then be a bit more thick-skinned and go and approach 1 or 2 of those people and do a good job with those 1 or 2 people. Take a hit in the beginning if you need to, earn lower margins if you need to. But once you've got a good rapport going on with those 1 or 2 people, they will help you spread to their network. So that's what I think we tried to do, and in hindsight, that worked really well for us.